Hi guys, this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm here to do some little, I think Natasha from Treasure Books, she called them, I think, matchbox, or matchbooks, I think she called them. And they were this super easy idea. They were just on her 5-minute crafts video, so I will try and remember to link that below. And I thought they just looked really fun, so I thought let's come along and make some. So what have I brought along to make them? I have got a variety of different papers here. Now, her base, I'm not quite sure whether it was thick paper or thin, but I am going to use thicker paper. So I have brought along paper that has been printed on, this is between 230 and 210 and 250 GSM. This paper, and I've also got this one which is on some craft coloured card. Again, it is a printable, you know, that I've printed onto this. I do sell the printed onto the special papers from time to time in my shop, but I'm not sure whether they're in there at the moment. But yeah, so I've got a variety of thicker papers to use as my bases, and then I have got a variety of, you know, inner papers to put on the inside. And then what you're going to need is you're going to need your stapler to staple them all together. So they're super, super, super easy. And then, of course, anything that you may want to decorate. So, yeah, let's kind of have a look and make some of these. Oh, I've also got some vintage documents. Genuine, authentic vintage documents that I thought I will also incorporate in these. So let's have a little look at what we're going to do. So here, this is just from my pale lace papers, and these are from the pinks and purples. So I'm going to cut this off because this was the very thick paper, which I think is 250 GSM, and often my printer doesn't really like it, and when it sucks it through, it sort of misses a strip at the end when I'm printing borderless. So yeah, please ignore that end bit. So I've got that one from the pinks and purples, and then I've got these which are from the blues, and yeah, the blues, I think it's the blues and greens, but I might be wrong. It might just be blues. I can't remember, I'm afraid. But they're also from the pale lace papers. And then the other one that I had, which was on the craft card, is this is from the damask papers. Now, because it's printed on the craft card, I actually can't remember whether this is from like the rich damask or the pale damask. To be honest, you can't really kind of tell. So what you're going to do, you're going to cut your piece lengthways so you have longer pieces. So a bit like we would for the long flap envelopes. And these are very similar to the long flap envelopes, but they are not an envelope. So we're just going to cut that down. And then I will just do the exact same thing with these two papers. So, and I'm trying to be like really efficient and do these, you know, yeah, the stages kind of together so that it's a bit more efficient, really. So we just take those down like that, that one, and then we'll just do this one. Now what I've done, I've coffee dyed the back of these. Obviously I didn't need to coffee dye this because it's just on the craft coloured card, so it is coloured on the back, but I have coffee dyed the backs of these. I've coffee dyed the fronts a bit as well, but not so heavily as the back, because I didn't want them looking just white and, you know, boring when you open these out. So I don't think I've made a very straight job of that, but that's okay. I can kind of tidy that up in a minute. So I think that's all the thick papers. Yep. Okay. So all you're going to do is you're going to kind of make a little foldy piece. Now, it doesn't really matter which way that you fold these. So I'm just going to go like this. The only thing that does matter is you want your, you know, your top flap coming down slightly longer. Now I'm actually thinking, to be honest, maybe I should do this slightly smaller actually. Yeah, I probably had that a little bit too high, so we'll have it more like this. Okay, I've probably still got it a bit high, so I think for my next one I'm going to go down a bit, you know, make my end fold a bit smaller, because that seemed gigantic. Although I think you know, Natasha's from Treasure Books, I think hers were quite thick, or, you know, quite high, but yeah, I think probably it would be better, you know, a bit lower, sort of more like that. So So like that, and then we just fold this like that, okay? And then again, just trimming up the sides. Not making a very good job of my straight edges, or perhaps I should say my not straight edges, because I'm not making a very good job of them. So like that. Okay. So I'll just trim them all down. And then we'll take this one. Then just, you know, fold up the first flap, but not too tall or not too high. Bring the other one over like that. Okay. Yep. And then like that. And then this one. And then we'll do it with the craft card, which the craft card is going to obviously have quite a different look to these, which I think is quite fun. You know, it's quite nice to have different looks, isn't it? So like that. I've just got a slither here where, again, the printer doesn't really like this thick card, so I'll just take that off there. Okay. And then these, I'll just bring these up like that and just fold these down. So no exact measuring going on here, or size going on here. Just do them sort of, you know, to roughly where you think. So like that. Okay, so then what we're going to do is just take a variety of different papers. So I've brought along a lot of different papers now, including some plain. So you want some plain papers, you know, so you've got journaling space, but you want to mix it in hopefully with some, you know, interesting looking papers. So for the craft card, I may mix it in with some of this. So this is just from that internal envelope, which I love using this internal envelope. Oops. So we'll just cut that up like that. I'm just going to just tear this down on the edge so it's a bit more interesting. And then obviously you can see that's a bit tall for my piece. So again, just going to tear it across the top. Personally, I really like the torn, you know, the torn edges as opposed to straight edges. But again, you know, this is your project. So when you come to make yours, you know, mix them up how you want. You know, if you like them torn, have them torn. If you prefer yours, you know, neater, then of course, you know, do them neater. Don't kind of think that I'm saying my way is, you know, is the best way. So let's do them, in fact, 2 at a time. So we'll do our 2 craft coloured ones like that, okay? So then what I've got here, I've got some fly sheet. Now, fly sheet, from my understanding, is, you know, the blank sort of book page pieces that you get, you know, like when you first open a book, you get like a couple of blank pages before you get, you know, the publishing information and things like that. They're what the fly sheet pages are. So they are, I think, very, very nice to use in journals. So you're just layering up your papers like this. Now you may want to stagger them around so you get sort of an interesting look, and of course you need to make sure that your piece is going to fold. So if you need to, you know, adjust so that it's, you know, not as tall, then this is probably the point to do that. I mean, it's not the end of the world if you don't, because you could always tear it down afterwards, but yeah, I mean, ideally you just want it so your piece actually does fold. Right, I've got some vintage document here, so let's take some of this. Now I'm going to just tear this down, and we'll just pop in a couple of bits like this. Okay, sort of staggering them around a little bit. And then I've got some more vintage document, but more like a ledger. So it's a plain sheet, which is obviously great because we can journal on that, but it's like a ledger page. So again, just going to tear that down. Oops. I mean, I've obviously, you know, torn that. So what I'll do, actually, what I probably could do is just fold this up like that. And then if I just slip that in there, that just goes in like that. So, you know, I've not even needed to cut that down. Obviously here, just get rid of that little shoddy edge there. And then we'll just fold this like that, okay? Oops, maybe a little bit higher, because otherwise you can barely see this. So like that, okay. And again, just slip that into there. So we're just kind of doing some interesting layers. And then what I've also brought along for this one, well, I mean, not necessarily for this one, but yeah, I just thought this one actually looks pretty good with this, is I've got some of this gorgeous bird page. Now, this is from one of my vintage books. I can't remember which book it is, I'm afraid, but what's quite nice about this is lovely and plain on the back, and we've got these huge images. So ordinarily, you know, you might struggle to use these pages in a junk journal because, of course, they are very big. But for this project, you could just cut a section and obviously use this. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take this in here, like that. In fact, I'm going to cut it right the way across, because then I could use the other bird maybe. And then just up here, like that. Right, now let's just see. I mean, what would have been quite nice if I could have had that torn edge, but obviously the bird would be overhanging. So what I'm going to do is just tear, oops, just tear that down so as I get the torn edge again. Like that. I'm just going to cut this in here. Like that. Okay. So not too bad, although I might need to come in slightly more. And then I'm just going to tear this across here, like that. So then we can have this bird, maybe here, like that. I mean, how gorgeous does that look? So we've got loads of different layers of interest there. And then all that Natasha did was she just used her stapler, which, where did I put my stapler? Oh, yeah, over there. And she just literally put one staple straight down the bottom, which then holds the whole thing together. So, and then we're going to come back to that in a second. So let me just finish layering up this one. Whoops. Now, I wonder if we can use this bird in here. It's quite low down. I might just keep that for a different, you know, different project, because that bird's quite low down. We can barely see it. So, shall we use that one? Let me just have a look around and see. Actually, I've got some of my architecture postcards, which actually I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to have kind of the same problem, I think, in that they're going to be, you know, if they're landscape, they're going to just be hidden behind that flap part. And if they're portrait, then A, they may look weird, and B, still might have, you know, barely any showing. So let's just try that. Well, I mean, it's not too bad. I mean, it's not great, but it's okay. I just wanted to have different looks going on, really, so they didn't look the same. So again, just like, you know, move your pieces around so you've hopefully got, you know, as many layers showing as possible. So like that. And then just staple straight in the middle there, which just held all your pieces together. Now, Natasha, actually, she used a paper clip, but I'm wondering whether you could just tuck that into there. Yeah, so obviously you can just tuck it straight in, and that's held down with the staple. So, which is pretty cool, isn't it? You know, they don't actually even need a paper clip. So that's those two. Let's do a couple more, and then we'll just quickly decorate these so that they look a bit more, you know, interesting, and we don't just have the staple then, you know, showing. I mean, not that I mind the staple showing, actually, but yeah, just so they look a bit more interesting. So I'm just going to take this down like this. Now, I've just used this as a bit of a guide, so as I know roughly how wide I want my pieces to be. Okay, like that. Okey-dokey. So these are obviously very tall for this, so I need to obviously take this down quite a bit. Oops. Quite a bit. like that. Okay, and then this one needs to obviously do the same, so bring it down quite a lot there. Okay, and you know, you can layer up as many pages as you like, really. I don't recall really, or you know, I didn't kind of make a conscious effort in the last one to notice how many pages that we actually did layer, but yeah, just kind of layer up until you feel it's done, really. So that one, now obviously I'm going to need to take that down a bit, but we'll do that in a second when we've kind of got everything in there that we want. So again, I've got some vintage documents here. So it's a letter. Actually, that's quite thick. So I prefer to use a flimsier, yeah, a flimsier piece of documentation, really, because then it's going to, you know, just sit in there easier. So like that, okay. And isn't that a gorgeous colour on there? It looks very pretty, doesn't it? So yeah, let's just have a look now. So I've got some more fly sheet. So yep, we could probably use this somewhere. I mean, I quite like that sort of edge on there. Or we could have it like that, I suppose, where we then get two pieces from that. So I'm just going to tear it off like that, and then tear it down this side. So yeah, I can have that like that, and that one like that. Now I also got some book page, and again, I am hoping to put some book page bundles in my shop soon, and I know I've talked about this a lot, and I have had people messaging me. I don't know whether they are in there yet or whether they are, you know, going in there soon. But yeah, please do, you know, have a look, because it may be that, you know, it may even be that they're in there now. So just going to cut this down. This is just from some vintage catalogue. So I just take that down like that. Oh, it's way too tall. Way too tall. Okay, like that. And then this one. Okay. Like that. Might even put that back there. More like that, okay. And then ooh, I've got some of this. Now this is those craft paper packs, and again I have got these in my shop as well. Again on my website, not on my Etsy shop, but these are rather nice. So obviously these are not vintage, but they do look very vintage. Now I've just got a white, so from where I coffee dyed these just now. Now I put it into my bin. Oh my goodness, and now I'm rummaging around trying to find the white. I thought, well, I've only just used it, so it's going to be at the top of the bin. And of course, it's not at the top of the bin. It's now sunk right down into the bin. Oh, would you believe it? Isn't that just always the way? Because I was going to then just coffee dye the back. I'm not going to. I'll just pop it in like that. It's fine. Maybe I'll just even have that coming out behind. Okay, so we've got a lot of lovely layers there. And, you know, I think it's really nice to kind of like have the layers showing. So you might want to kind of like pull your bits out just slightly so that they're layered up, you know, and you can see all the different lovely layers like that. Okay, so again, just tuck them down like that. Now I'm just going to take this down slightly at the side because I feel like that was a little bit wide for the piece. Okay, so like that, and then just pop that in there, and then just take my stapler, and again just one staple straight down the bottom, Anywhere where it's a bit tall, like I say, you can just go in afterwards and just, you know, re-tear that. So I'll just tear that off slightly like that. Okay. And then again, that just tucks in there like that. Aren't they gorgeous? I mean, I hadn't really seen matchbooks done like this before. And, you know, I don't know why really, because actually it's such an obvious way to do them, isn't it? But yeah, I just absolutely love them. So yeah, here, just one down there. Now I have got a little bit of edge poking out here at the side, so I don't know whether I'm going to be able to cut that down here. I should do my best. I should probably make a horrible job of it. Oh well, right, not too bad. And then this again is very tall, so I just need to tear that down slightly. And a bit on that side. Okay, again, just tuck that in there. We just squish this one down like that. Okay, so that's 2. Okay, right, let's do these little blue ones. So, I mean, these really are, you know, like just a little 5-minute, you know, bundle that you can kind of make up and, you know, really incorporate anything at all. So, you know, scraps, the fly sheet, you know, anything at all that you've got left laying around. So this one, I'm even thinking I might be able to include some of this. Actually, maybe not, to be honest. It didn't really look as good as I was hoping. But can definitely have a bit more of that document. So, yeah, pop that in. That's a bit purple, so we won't have that. I have got, however, some blue document. So, yeah, we can definitely use the blue document. So, just pop that in. Like that, okay. And then this side. Now, I'm just going to tear off the top slightly. Okay, I have to go behind there. Like that. And then this one, I just need to tear down the top slightly of that. So again, this is genuine vintage document, but quite nice having the different colours, isn't it? Now I've also got this fly sheet, which of course has got these patterns on. Again, I thought it was going to look lovely. Don't really like it, so I'm not going to use that. Now, have I got any dyed paper that's a bit more blue? No, it's definitely purple, isn't it? Oh, that's a bit of a shame. Yeah, I thought I had some that was more blue looking, but no, definitely purple. Right, I've got this. This is some vintage documents. So again, whoops. Just neaten that up here. And, you know, if you've got something like this, it's up to you really whether you put it in text side or plain side. This one, to me, I mean, this is a vintage document, but I mean, it doesn't look anything overly interesting. So I'm just going to put it text side down rather than text side up. So, but it does need a bit of a trim. So actually, I'm going to tear that down because we've just got the little vintage mark where the pin was, which I rather like. So I don't want to get rid of that. And then I'm just going to tear it across at the top. So, yep, that one could go in there like that. Oh my goodness. Not doing a very good job of tearing this down, am I? You know, keep tearing it and then it's like still too tall. So, yeah, very rubbish on the tearing today. But still, never mind. So we've got those. Let me just see what else I've got. Oh, I've got some more document, which, would you say that's blue? I mean, it's got a blue tinge, hasn't it? So I think I could probably get away with it. So this is just some letter. So I'm going to just put this in like that, I think. You know, it's just about, whoops, it's just about building up some layers so it looks a bit more interesting. So pop that in, I think, here. Actually, put it in there, like that. And then we probably just want a little bit more plain. So we've got some journaling space on here. So again, just, yeah, I've got some fly sheet from Book Page. So I'll just take this one. Okay. And then just, yeah. Actually, do I like that? I mean, that's not a great edge, is it, to be honest? So, yeah, I won't bother with that. Put this one in there. Okay. And then I think to finish this one off, do we want a little bird? Let's just check the other page of birds that I had. Yeah, I think we could probably have one of these. So, just going to take this one. Okay. So, yeah, we just take this then, tear it down here, and then just tear it across here as well. And if I just tear this down slightly more, we can just see a bit more of that document behind. So like that. And that way the layers are just shown a bit more. So I'm just going to sort of shuffle these down and then just trim them across at the bottom slightly because it's a little bit too tall. Oops, like that. And then just go down the side as well because it's a little bit too wide. So what I'm going to do is actually, it's just really the white bit that's a bit too wide. So I'm just going to take it over like that. So I don't lose all those layers that we carefully put, you know, poking out one behind each other. So like that. Okay, and then we can just staple that whole bundle into here. Like that. Obviously if you've got any like overhangs like this, you can just go in and tear that down. There we go. Tuck that in. And then the final one, so yep, this one here. So again, just, you know, put in our layers just so, you know, they're coming out kind of like one behind each other. It's just making it look very interesting. Now, I've got another bird here, so perhaps we'll try and use this. Now, I might have to lose that other bird. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to cut this down fractionally here and then fractionally across the bottom. Just so it's hanging, or not hanging, but showing a little bit more of the document, okay? Now I'm going to take this, give it a bit of a, you know, bit of a shuffle down like that. Oops, like that. And just pop that all in there. And then I will tear that down afterwards on this one. Don't ask me why I did that way, but yeah, there we go. And that just then tucks into there like that. Aren't they so gorgeous? And like I say, I mean, they take like 5 minutes to make. Not my idea. I cannot claim it to be my idea or anything. It was Natasha from Treasure Books, her 5-minute crafts, or 5-minute crafting ideas. But I just love them. And then what she did, she had like some hearts and things like that that she just put over where her staple is. So I'm thinking we could put, you know, pretty much any, you know, any variety of decoration on these. So let's bring them back in and see what we've got. Now I've got a bunch of lace and things that, which, you know, I've just got this laying around from a mass making session. So we might as well just use some of these little scraps up. They're very sort of slim pieces of lace trim. So actually I think they're, you know, they're perfect for here. As you can see, I mean, they're not straight or anything like that. Personally, I don't mind that. You know, I think that's, you know, that's really nice. It all adds to the, you know, the charm, I think. So, yeah, we just pop them down. Oh my goodness, I like that on the purple. I'm just going to trim this down slightly because it looked very wide to me compared to the other end. So like that. Okay. That one can go on there. So I'm just going to take my Fabri-Tac. Haven't used this for a while, so it may be a bit clogged up. Let me just check it out. Oops, give it a shake. Oh no, it's coming out fine. So Fabri-Tac is brilliant stuff, I must say. It, you know, on the whole, it really does, you know, work. It doesn't seem to kind of like get that clogged end like so many other glues do. There we go. So that's that one. Now I'm just putting a bit of paper in here, in between the two edges, just so that if I've got glue seeping out, it's not going to get onto the other, you know, the other piece, so the other flap. But again, you know, you don't have to obviously do that. I'm just kind of doing that because I think that's perhaps a good, not preventative measure, but, you know, a good step to take. But yeah, I mean, it's not essential, obviously. Oh my goodness. Really fingers and thumbs today. I'm so sorry. I don't know why, but just some days worse than others. Okay. So yeah, I like this this colour lace on here. It's very pretty, isn't it? So again, just going to put that on there. So again, just using this piece of paper. You know, it's just a scrap that was laying around on my desk. But yeah, just perfect for, you know, separating out between the two flaps. Oh, just checking that I've got the lace up the right way. Oh my goodness. Like that. Okay. Oh my goodness. What's going on? Right. There we go. Yep, liking that. Now, oops. I thought I was out of lace for a minute, but I've got this. Oh, this is not going to go right the way across, but I don't think that matters, to be honest. I'm just going to, yeah, I'm just going to put it where, you know, where it falls, to be honest. So, I mean, if it's not wide enough to go the whole way across, I think that's still fine. We'll just use, you know, to where it does go. So, like that, okay. Okie dokie. Right. Oh my goodness. Loving how this looks. So yeah, that was just using up some scraps. Now I've got this lace, or actually I've got some wider lace. So yeah, these are not, you know, this isn't a scrap of lace now. It's, you know, an actual length of lace. But again, put that in there and just, I mean, I'm just trying not to dither around and, you know, faff about, because obviously, you know, we're trying to do like a 5-minute craft here. So I mean, obviously the 5 minutes really was just the assembly. So the decorating, of course, you could take as long as you like, but I mean the actual basic item we've, you know, we've put together in like no time at all, haven't we? So oops, let me just spread that glue out a little bit. Okay, that one. And then this final one. Oops. Oh, I can't even see. Oh, it's up that way. I thought, well, that's weird. I can't even see where the join is. Honestly, terrible eyesight. Right. So, yep, cut this one down. I just like to cut that header part off. You know where it's got the curly edge. You know, I don't always cut it off, but I do more often than not cut it off. So yeah, okay, so going across here, again, just spread that glue. Okay, like that. Okay, right, let's get rid of these bits. Okay, put the Fabri-Tac out the way. Oh, do you know what? I've just spotted these. So we made these quite a long time ago. I'm not sure as we made these ones. These may have been some that I made in quite a time, but these would look quite nice on there, wouldn't they? So yeah, I mean, obviously probably a bit of a waste now I've put my glue down. Let me see if I've got, because I've got a few of these sat here, so I might have some slimmer ones. I thought I had quite a few, but actually now I'm looking, I might only have a couple of these. Oh, I don't know where the others have gone. Right, okay, well I might only have one or two. Oh, that's quite pretty. I mean, to be honest, I could even just have this torn down on one side. Oops, like that. And just have it off to the side or something. That's quite nice, isn't it? So yeah, I might just take this slightly smaller here. Like that. So that could just go off to the side like that, which I think is rather nice. So if I just throw that in the bin, and then I'm just going to, actually I'm just going to fabric tack this on, so hold on. Okay. Like that. Oh my goodness, how pretty does that look? Really pretty, isn't it? Yeah, I love how that looks. And then I wonder if we've just got room for some bling. This might just be like a step too far, to be honest, like a bit too much on here, but you know, I always like just lots of you know, lots of yumminess if I can. So yeah, let's just have this, shall we? And there. Oh, that looks gorgeous, doesn't it? Really, really pretty. So that's one, and obviously, you know, it just opens like that. Isn't that just gorgeous? And you know, these you could pop them into a pocket, or you could obviously have them glued onto a page, you know, either way. Sorry, I just need to trim down that side. Either way, these would be fine. So, I mean, obviously, if you're going to put them into a pocket, you might not want to have too much bulk here. But if you were popping them onto a page, you know, of course, you could have them, you know, bulkier, which, you know, might be nice. So, this one. Again, let's just have a look. And I'm thinking... just wondering, oh no, I'll cut that bird's face off, so we can't use that. Have a quick look. So just, yeah, scanning around on the desk to see if I've got anything here that just looks like it could be used. Oh, that's quite nice. I mean, this is left over from a previous project, but I'm thinking I could just have that sort of on there. It's quite nice, isn't it? Let me just tear this down fractionally. Oh my goodness, I'm loving how that looks. Doesn't that look gorgeous? Absolutely love that. So yeah, let's just pop this on. Come on. So this one is from my, I think it's from the Vintage Toppers papers. Or Vintage Toppers kit, perhaps I should say. And it comes with some background pages. And this is from one of those background pages. Doesn't that look yummy, yummy, yummy on there? I absolutely love how that looks. And again, you know, isn't it weird how sometimes the things you least expect, you know, actually look the best? I mean, who knew that this was going to look so good on there? you know, you wouldn't have really expected it, would you? But oh my goodness, maybe with the bling instead of the pearly trim, which again, weird, because, you know, I thought the pearly trim was going to look best, but I might have to be a bit careful when you're using your hot glue with your bling. Mind your fingers, and especially if you're using quite a long run of it, because it's pretty tricky to get to. Okay, so yeah, that looks gorgeous, doesn't it? And then down here, just to cover the staple up again, I mean, the staple doesn't really bother me, but I might want to cover it up. I've just got some ribbon over here, which has got the, you know, the buckles on there. So let me just see. Oh, see if I can get one. Hold on a second. No, that's not. Okay. Right, let me just take this one. So this hasn't got the buckle on, but I can easily put some buckle on it. Or, oh, what's this one? Put that one with some buckle. I just love, you know, like the buckles that, you know, they look so pretty, don't they? So yeah, I'm thinking maybe some buckles or sorry, I was just waylaid there having a look through my little ribbon box as I went over to get this. So let's just try this. I mean, obviously this has got purple, so I'm not necessarily saying that's the right colour. Yeah, it's a bit weird, isn't it? But could have this, or could have this one. I'm not sure now. Let me just see whether I've got any behind me. Right, hold on. Try a buckle on here. Okay. Like that. I mean, do we think that's too much bling on there? I mean, I can't help it. I just really do love, like, I really do love over decorating things. So for me, I do realise that is quite a lot of bling, but I think it looks quite nice. So yeah, let's just kind of like pop that down there. And then just to give this a helping hand, what I'm going to just do is pop some hot glue just behind where the buckle is, just so it's got a bit of extra help for, you know, for gluing down. So like that. Okay. And then I'm just going to snip this out from the back. Like that. Okay. Oh my goodness. I mean, how gorgeous does that look? I mean, it has got a lot of bling on there now, you know, because it's got the buckle and the bling. You know, so yeah, I do realise it's quite a lot on there, but I think it can take it. You know, I think it looks pretty, doesn't it? So yeah. Oops. Forgot this is Fabri-Tac, not hot glued down. So yes, which is a good thing and a bad thing. You can move it around, but I need to be careful that I don't move it around by accident. So yeah, love those ones. And then for the others, you know, like I say, I mean, just for the purposes of, you know, demonstration, you could have anything really between, for example, some of the, you know, our lovely ribbon pieces. I mean, that looks gorgeous on there, doesn't it? That one looks lovely. You know, that type of thing. Oh, those are my decorated ones. Let's pull out this one. Right. You know, because all we're trying to do is really cover up the thingamabob, the staple. So, like that. And, yeah, just cover up that staple like that. You know, you could have it sideways. That looks gorgeous, doesn't it? It's not the right piece, I do realise, but yeah, I mean, aside from it not being the right piece, it still does look pretty pretty lovely, doesn't it? But I mean, actually, I quite like it that way, so I'll just use this one. You know, and then you could put a butterfly or a label or something like that at the top, you know, and decorate them as much or as little as you like, really. But, I mean, they're just very yummy, aren't they? You know, they really look very pretty. So let's just quickly, before we finish, get to this one. I mean, we could have just that there. That looks quite pretty. Or I've got some here in my tray, ready-made. I mean, that looks quite nice, doesn't it? So yeah, I mean, all sorts of different things that you could have going on these, and they look gorgeous, don't they? Or actually, I've just thought you could just have a little flower. So I think earlier those flowers spilt in whilst I was filming, and yeah, I mean, here got this blue one. It's hard to see actually where those staples are. So I'll just take this lace down here, like that. Okay, and just then pop the middle of the flower out. That's how I like to use these, is just, you know, you simply pop the flower out, and then, yeah, let's just pop that down. And then here, like that. Okay, and then final one, like that. Okay, oops, like that. And then for a centre, let me just see, I've got some little pearly centres here. So maybe something like, oops, like that in the middle. Yeah, I mean, doesn't that look gorgeous? So just take that. Sorry, I have to keep bending that petal round because it keeps wanting to ping up, you know, up the other way. Oh my goodness. I mean, how gorgeous does that look? And that's just like no effort decorating at all. So yeah, and you could even have like a little bit of pearly trim on there as well. And to be honest, if you wanted to tie the gold in that's around that pearly trim, you could perhaps put some gold paint edging the pocket. You know, there's all sorts of different things that you could do with these. So aren't they just gorgeous? I really, really, really love them. So yeah, thank you so much, Natasha from Treasure Books. If you happen to stumble across this video, yeah, thank you so much for the lovely inspiration. These are really, really, really nice pockets, I have to say. And or, you know, not even pockets, but, you know, pockets or things to put in pockets. But yeah, come together super quickly and just are very, very scrumptious. So thank you so much for the inspiration, and thank you so much for watching. I would really appreciate it if you could give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks then. Bye.